Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld again. Thanks for stopping by. And just remember, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, feel free to take a look at some of my other Insurgency videos if you like. You can find them all in a playlist in the description down below. But anyway, are you a fan of games like Day of Defeat or Red Orchestra? Well, chances are you'll also be a fan of Day of Infamy. This is a brand new World War II mod for Insurgency made by New World Interactive, and it's completely free for anyone to download. I should point out before we start though that the mod is still in its very early stages, and there's obviously going to be a lot more content added in the future, but even so I've got to admit that I've been having a lot of fun with it so far, so I'm pretty keen to see what it has in store for the future. So what is Day of Infamy? Well, the main thing it adds at the moment are two brand new maps based on Omaha Beach and Bastogne. And if you know anything about these battles, you'd know that they occurred at completely different times of the year, meaning that the maps look very different. Dog Red Sector is a summer map which basically plays out kind of like the intro to Saving Private Ryan, with the Americans storming the beach. And on the other hand, Bastogne is a winter map which starts in a forest and eventually ends up with the Germans attacking the small town. Both maps are pretty fun, but unfortunately Dog Red Sector is not really historically accurate at the moment because the Americans almost never win. And that's because the Germans start with superior defensive positions, and on some game modes it's just impossible for the US to push through. Bastogne is a little better, but like on Dog Red, it usually ends up ending in a grindfest on the C objective, so obviously something needs to be done about the balance, because at the moment this is probably the biggest problem with the mod. Now, don't let the map balance get you down, because the other key part of Day of Infamy is the weapons, and pretty much all the classics are here. You can play with everything from the M1 Garand to the MP44, and you can even play with machine guns like the MG42. There's a real trade-off between damage and rate of fire in this mod, so unlike in the regular game, you won't be able to use automatic weapons all the time. And that makes you think a lot harder about the right loadout for the map, which is an aspect that I think is kind of missing from the base game. Another big difference that kind of plays into this is that you don't have optics and you don't have a lot of fancy high-tech attachments. So unlike in the base game, you really need to get in people's faces a lot more, which can be hard if you're running something like a Kar 98K. The only class that actually gets an optic is the sniper, but there's only one of these on each team and you'll rarely manage to pick it fast enough. So all in all, this means that as similar as it can seem at times, the gunplay in Day of Infamy is drastically different from regular Insurgency. Now, speaking of regular Insurgency, well, apart from the balance, I think the biggest issue that I have with the mod so far is that it's a total conversion mod. And that basically means that it's a pain to switch back and forth between the mod and the vanilla game, which is something that definitely needs to be fixed. You never know though, this could be like DayZ was for Arma 2, and in the future you might find yourself playing the mod more than the regular game, but even so, this is still probably a long way off yet, so making this transition easier is definitely something that devs have got to get onto ASAP. Bearing all of this in mind though, I'd still have to say that Day of Infamy is worth checking out, but I think it's too early to call it a great game yet. I mean, you can see by the plain textures and the fact that, for example, the M1 Carbine model is an M4, that it's clearly an unfinished product. That being said though, apparently the mod is going to be open source, and of course you've got to remember that this is the work of the actual dev team. So I think it's only a matter of time before we see a lot more polish, and I think eventually this is going to be at the top of the must-have list for all Insurgency players. But anyway guys, that just about wraps up this quick review, so let me know what you think of Day of Infamy in the comment section below, and as always, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And also check out the links in the description below if you want to see more of my videos, or if you want to support my channel on Patreon, and until next time, see you later, and have a good one.